My dogs wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning to use the bathroom, and it takes me 2 hours to go to sleep. So I figured I'll take this time to make a video answering the questions that you guys have. So for starters, I just want to say I know somebody somewhere is going to ask me about COVID and the trucking rates right now. And all I'm going to say is when it comes to COVID, you have to think of trucking actually when it comes to any situation. You have to think of trucking like crude oil, aka gas. Anytime anything happens, it's going to adjust the rates of trucking just like anytime anything happens, it's going to adjust the rate of gas. Like it's very flexible and changes throughout whatever's going on at the time. So do I think they're going to go up? I do, of course. Companies are having to shut down or actually slow down. They're losing profit, or they're just behind in the demand. They can't keep up with the demand of their shipments. So yeah, it's going to pick back up. So I feel like, of course, this is the time to narrow down which shippers have shut down, which shippers have shortages, and try to see if you're able to obtain the information or just know it off the bat. And get as much information as you can about that shipper, so when it does start to pick back up, you can start reaching out, because you already know, like, they're behind, they need my help, and that way you'll come out of this better than you were when you went into this. So yeah, if you're one of those who did not take that advice and just was lollygagging, I was like, yeah, I'm still on the low boards and I'm doing fine. How are you doing now? I just want to know, because well, if you're depending on the low boards in the time like this, I would assume that it's pretty difficult. And next time something like this happens, you would probably want a ship or two in your pocket, because right now you're just depending on a broker who might actually be getting like hazard pay for these loads that you guys are pulling, but aren't paying you the money that they're supposed to be. That is actually something TQL did for a very long time, and they are actually being sued right now because they ran two books of business, because they stole from the trucking companies. And we all knew TQL had cheap freight, but they did finally get caught with doing that. So like I said, if you're out there during the COVID and you're running off of the low board, I just want to know how you're doing. Do I think the rates are going to go back up? Yes, I do. Do I think you need to scout shippers at this time? Yes, I do. But I'm not saying you need to call them at this time. They don't want to hear from us right now. But when it starts picking back up, that's when you get on the phones. They're not going to be caring if Jimmy, Lou, Bob, or Sue ran a load for them. Like, they just want their loads ran. And the brokers are going to jump on it fast. Trust me, that's what they do. Okay, so the most asked questions I got was, can you run those through a brokerage? No, you cannot. When you apply for your numbers, you actually need to let them know that, is it a trucking entity or is it a brokerage entity? And they are two separate things. So if you wanted both, you have to get numbers for both. Why would a shipper choose a broker over a carrier? Because you have the capacity, aka the truck and trailer. You can guarantee that your truck and trailer will be in the dock when it's supposed to be, versus a broker who could just only promise. And of course they can't promise anything, but they're going to promise anyway to get the loads. How do you find freight? Well, you need to look around your house, you need to look around the store, you need to look at the things that you eat, things you use on your hair. You just go wild with it. Motorcycles, cars, fucking agriculture, livestock. I mean, you can ship anything. Look around, figure out what you want to ship. Look up shippers that ship what you figured out you want to ship in your area, whatever area you want to run, and it's going to narrow down some shippers. You can use ThomasNet, you can network. Oh my gosh, y'all, two biggest things for truckers is to use your rate cons, and when you call brokers off the low board and they tell you, yeah, this picks up in Jasper, Georgia, is going to Miami, Florida to load a sugar. Oh, it's sugar in Jasper, Georgia. Let me call them and see if I can run this load without you. So anyway, yeah, that one. And Celadon, I think it was Celadon, y'all. It was so long ago when all these companies was going out of business. I believe it was Celadon. I can't remember who it was, but I do know they had this one shipper. I feel like it was a Ford, but they only shipped car parts. Like they only manufactured car parts and shipped them, and that's the only thing Celadon was doing. And I think now that this was Celadon, I can't remember. I just know it was a major company, so I apologize. But my point is, they went out of business because they only like gave their fleet like the car shipments, and they depended on the car shipments. And when the shipper or manufacturer just stopped manufacturing car parts, it was like, well, we don't know where to put these 100 trucks at anymore. Like we can't just find freight for 100 trucks within a day or so. So they had to shut that down. So yeah, if you're a bigger company, don't just depend on one shipper. That's why it's important to grow your book of business. But if you have your trucking company already, you can get direct shippers. Like you can just go and be like, yeah, my truck will be in your dock whatever time you need it to be there, and get shippers that way. The brokerage actually comes into play when you have more freight than you can handle and you want to give that freight to other trucking companies. Then you can do that with the brokerage. So yeah. Someone asked me, should they buy a box truck? Okay, well, that's like asking me, should you buy a hot shot? I say no, because like it's already hard enough out here. Don't limit yourself because you don't have enough capacity either on a hot shot, aka flatbed, or a box truck, aka dry van that is a partial load. It's very hard to find partial loads, and they don't pay that well because it's not a full load. So they're not going to pay not even a dollar amount, maybe close to it. But yeah, I just say no. If you're gonna get out there and you're gonna get a box truck, no. If you're gonna get out there, you're gonna get a hot shot, maybe, because the only money in hot shot, my opinion, is cars, and I love cars. Because if you can move 3 or 4 cars and get all the cars at $1 a mile, you're moving at $3 to $4 a mile. So anyway, different video. Oh, I can make a video for that one. You guys can make some money with some cars if you have a hot shot. Anyway, the last thing I want to go over is very important to me, because I actually told you guys, like, yeah, get a trucking company, get a brokerage, do this and whatever, build your trucking business. But you guys have to understand, like, if you have a trucking company, you can make some money, but you can also lease other truckers on, or other owner operators on, to make money. And then if you have a brokerage, you can lease on agents to make money. And if you're just a broker agent, you can actually create your own agency, as in like just create your own business. It's easy. Just create your own business as an agency, and then lease other agents on, and lease your agency onto a brokerage, and there you go. I mean, there's so many ways to make money, but my point is, lease people on. Yeah, you don't want to take the risk because they might fuck everything up, but start another business. I mean, or get out, because there's no money, whereas there's no risk. But my point is, don't be afraid to actually let someone use your numbers, or let someone work under you, because in times like this, you're going to wish you had your hands in something else to make money somewhere else. And what I'm saying is, the richest people in the country, the 1%, they don't work their own jobs. They have people doing it for them. They don't work their own companies. They have people doing it for them. So you can't just do it all on your own. Trucking, it can be high some days. It can be like construction. High some days, low other days. And when it's low, you're going to wish you had something else going. You're going to wish you had your hands in real estate. Or you can be like, yeah, I'm going to sell this house in 2 weeks. Or, yeah, I'm going to sell these cars in 2 weeks and make my money back, or whatever, But if all you have is trucking, then it's gonna be tough. So, like I said, if you have a trucking authority, think about leasing on owner operators. If you have a brokerage, think about leasing on agents or agencies. And if you have an agency, think about leasing your agency onto a brokerage, and then hiring agents under that to help you move loads. So like I said, there's different ways of doing this, but definitely don't go out alone. Okay, you guys, see you later. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time. Bye.